Hello. Hello, everyone. It's 5:30. It's nutrition chat time, and I have my wine. By the way, I still need a name for this Thursday night live nutrition chat with wine. So if anyone has suggestions, let me know, please. I feel like there's so many cute names. Hi, Sess. Sess, if you have a good name idea for this Thursday night wine and nutrition chat, let me know. Because I need, there could be so many cute, catchy names for this. I just haven't come up with anything. It has no name. So, anyways, this topic tonight is probably, if I'm going to call myself an expert on one thing, it would probably be this. And of course, I'm not as good as a trained professional chef. But I have a lot of knowledge in this field being meal prep. So I've been cooking for clients for about 2 years, and there's one thing I know how to do. It's how to get it done really fast and cost effective and make it healthy. Yeah, so I have so much. I sat down to write out a little outline of what I wanted to talk about, and I think this might have to be two Facebook Lives, because there's just so much that I can talk about here. So if you have questions, if I skip anything, let me know. And then after this video, you can comment below. Let me know what I missed and what you want to hear more of on this topic or any topic, because I'm going to do this every Thursday. So yeah, let me know. I need topic ideas. I have a short list going, but and I've got my regular contributors, Kate and Kelsey and Jill. So yeah, let me know. All right, Cecily, cheers. Okay, so my name's Haley. My business is basically ready-made meals. It's a ready-made meal service. I cook for my clients once a week after creating a little nutrition and meal plan for them. And that's why I'm so good at meal prep and why I know everything about meal prep. Because I have to make anywhere from 50 to 100 meals a week for clients. And I don't want to spend my whole weekend in the kitchen. So I know how to get it done fast and cost effective and still make it healthy. Okay. Thursdays with Haley, wine and nutrition advice. Ooh. Those are good. It's a good start. We just start a little list and see what we like best. Okay. All right. Oh. My battery's running low. Okay. So, first of all, why do we want to cook at home? Because what I hear mostly from people is, well, why would I cook at home when I could eat at McDonald's or order a pizza or just even get a lean cuisine or a frozen meal? The issue with those is you don't know what's going into your food. And you might have an ingredient list, but do you really know what all that stuff is, or how to decipher what's going on? In my experience, most people don't know how. They're kind of complicated and a little bit difficult to figure out what they're talking about. So cooking at home is the only way to know exactly what's going in your food. And to have complete control over the ingredients. So if you have high blood pressure, if you cook at home, you know exactly how much salt's going into your food. You can cut out added sugars. You can cook with really high quality oils. Oils are a huge thing. If we're using saturated oils, hydrogenated oils, partially hydrogenated oils, we're coming up with these terrible fats that are so bad for us. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for coming. We're talking about meal prep tonight, so I have so many tips on this. Yeah, so when we're cooking at home, we have complete control of over our ingredients. We can choose plant foods like seasonal produce, lean proteins, good fats, no added sugars. This is what we want. We can also do gluten-free or dairy-free. You know, you can really modify it, tweak it for whatever you want. That's why you want to cook at home. But then I hear, you know, well, that sounds really hard. It sounds complicated. It sounds expensive. It sounds time-consuming. The number one thing I hear is, well, cooking at home is so much more expensive. It is not. Your grocery bill, you know, if you're buying like $100 worth of groceries at the beginning of the week, of course that's going to seem more expensive than a $10 McDonald's meal. But that McDonald's meal is going to last you one meal. The grocery store bill will last you the entire week. So yeah, it is definitely more cost effective. And if you put some of the tips that I have into place, it's absolutely more cost effective to cook at home and do your grocery shopping. So first of all, if you're getting ready, you're gonna meal prep for the week, or just some of your meals even. The first thing you need to do is look at your schedule. So if you're eating 5 dinners out and you have 3 business lunches, how many meals at home does that leave? You know, like 3, maybe your weekend's really busy, you're not gonna be eating at home on the weekend either. You've got hardly any meals left over that you actually need to prepare for yourself. So if you were to go to the grocery store and buy a week's worth of groceries, and then you take them home and realize that you're actually not going to be eating any meals at home, you just wasted a whole bunch of money. So check your schedule, know approximately how many meals, of course your schedule changes, but know approximately how many meals you're going to be eating in your home for the coming week before you even make a list or hit the grocery store. This is going to save you a ton of time and money. Secondly, you want to pick out some recipes. So the second biggest mistake that people make is they just go to the grocery store. And what I used to do this, I love going to the grocery store and like seeing all the produce. It gets me so excited looking at all the food. So I used to go and I used to like buy all the pretty seasonal produce. Oh my gosh, that squash looks amazing, and look at these berries. And I would fill my cart with all this delectable produce, and I'd get it home with no plan, and I would either not know what to do with it, so I just wouldn't cook it, or I would try to make it into something altogether, and it would come out like disgusting. So you need to have a plan. You need to have recipes, like 100% before you go to the grocery store. And recipes should be simple. They shouldn't have, ingredients that you don't know what they are. So if they do, there's no reason you should be buying ingredients that you will never use again. You can either substitute or find a different recipe. So do not pick a recipe that has a whole bunch of things that you've never worked with. Comparable ingredients, so if you wanted to like do something that has squash in it and it's just a squash that you haven't used before, but you've used plenty of other squashes, that's fine. Comparable things are great, but like arrowroot powder or like something that you've never heard of, just either find a substitute or find a similar recipe that doesn't include those, because you don't need to be buying ingredients that you're never going to use again. Recipes should be mostly plant-based, and that's not too hard, throwing in a couple of vegetables in there and then having a lean protein, that's kind of all you need. And you can make something super flavorful out of simple ingredients. It's really not that hard. We will go over that. But so picking a recipe, pretty easy. You are pretty familiar with the ingredients. And then I always do a once over on my recipes. A lot of the ones that you find on the internet nowadays are like written by a blogger, and I feel like those, a lot of times they just want to hear themselves talk. So they're like, add all these steps in to their recipes. And it's like, just these unnecessary steps that you don't need to take all of these steps. And it just makes the recipe take that much longer. And it really doesn't change the outcome. So you can modify the steps. I kind of will give a once over to it. So what are my ingredients and what's the final product supposed to be? Do I really need to be adding steps like 4 through 10? No, probably not. So cut out steps if you need to. It's really not that difficult to modify recipes. But the other option is going with a trusted site. So something like cookinglight.com is awesome. They have seasonal recipes that are pretty healthy, pretty plant-based. And then eatingwell.com, again, they're seasonal, they're plant-based, they're healthy, and usually they're pretty easy. So I love both of those sites, and they usually don't have like ridiculous steps in there that are just completely unnecessary. So those are great. Eatingwell.com also has a magazine you can buy at the grocery store. It comes out once a month. It's totally seasonal, which I love. Seasonal will save you money, so always go with seasonal. But that's a really good publication. Really good, delicious recipes that are healthy. So that's a good option. Those are both good options. Okay, so we have our recipe, and we're choosing recipes based on how many meals we're going to be eating in our home in the coming week. Because maybe we choose like 6 recipes and we're going to eat like 3 meals at home next week. That doesn't make any sense. So you need to base the number of recipes and the quantity that they're going to make on how much you're actually going to be eating at home. Now we need to make our list. But first, check your fridge, freezer, and pantry. And this is like the tip that I get the most pushback on, because it sounds like it's going to be so complicated. Like, oh my God, it's seriously more work? I'm already cooking. Now I have to put in like more steps. Are you serious? So, but this is another like money saver and time saver. So open up your fridge, because I guarantee you have a bag of lettuce that's about to go bad, and some shredded carrots from 3 months ago that are like on the verge of mold. So whatever your produce situation is, you want to check that first, because you don't want to be rebuying anything that you already have that is about to turn. That's a waste of money. Cheers. So with the produce, like 20% of Americans' grocery bill goes in the trash. That's huge. If you are, I did a little bit of math earlier, if you're spending $100 on groceries a week and 20 of those dollars are going in the trash every week, that's over $1,000 that year that you literally threw in the trash. Okay, if I gave you $20 cash each week, would you like put it in the trash? No. So this is why this is so important. Checking your fridge, giving it a once over. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. What do you have that's about to go bad? You don't need to rebuy that. Maybe even it's something simple. Like sometimes I'll make a big batch of like some kind of sauce or something, and then I'm like, what do I do with this? Just pick a recipe that you can incorporate that into. So sometimes it goes the other way around. Maybe you check your fridge first, or maybe you know that you have a couple things that you want to use up first. So you pick recipes that are going to utilize those, so you don't have to throw them away. Either way, if you check your fridge first or pick your recipes first, those are great ways to save money and time. Giving your freezer once over, that doesn't have to be every week. Freezer is much less utilized than your fridge, so I do that once a month or once every 2 months. I just open it up, and like most of the time when I do that, I find like a bag of chicken that's left over, and I'm like, hey, I don't have to buy chicken this week. So that's another great way. You're just saving money. You're not rebuying things you already have. And then checking your pantry. And again, that's kind of like your freezer. It doesn't change as often, and things aren't going to go bad as quickly. So that's more about like, you just don't need to buy another bottle of vinegar if you already have one. Yeah, pretty easy. But it saves you money. You're not rebuying things that you already have. Okay. You get to the grocery store. Sometimes this is the hardest part for people, because, it's so exciting. There's food everywhere, but sticking to your list is going to save you time and money. Like really, and those are the two biggest factors that play into cooking for yourself are time and money. So the faster you get out of the grocery store, the less time you spent there and the less money you spent there. The more you're like wandering up and down the aisles, the more calories you're adding to that cart every time you walk by the Cheetos and the cereals and the, I don't know, cookies or something. You're adding money and calories to your cart that you probably don't need. So making sure that you're hitting the areas of the grocery store that are on your list and then just getting right out of there. Sometimes I will like schedule, I'm not that organized, but I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna spend some time wandering around the grocery store looking at new stuff, and that's totally fine. But meal prep, get on it, stick to your list. Perimeter of the store is always better. The aisles are where the junk are. Of course, you have to walk down those to get, rice or beans or something like that. Another good money-saving tip is with watching your proteins. So the most expensive thing that's going to enter your grocery cart is animal protein. And that's also the most difficult to prepare. So it's the most time-consuming, it's the most messy, it's the most dangerous as far as our health goes. You can contaminate your raw produce with chicken juice, which is just disgusting. But yeah, so your proteins are where you can really cut costs and time, because chicken, pork, turkey, those take time to cook. They take effort to cook. And if you ruin them, they're ruined. There's no salvaging them. So I love, like, when I'm cooking for myself, I rarely do like something as complicated as meat. I get real lazy. So I do eggs. Eggs are super cheap, super easy to cook. They take about a minute and a half, depending on how you cook them. Beans come in a can. They're pre-cooked. You literally just rinse them off and you can add them to anything, and that's really wonderful protein. I feel like I could do a whole Facebook Live about beans. They are just so good for us. They're like the fountain of youth. They are awesome. So add beans to like everything. They're so good for you. And then the other one I do is canned fish. I get a lot of like with that one. But canned fish, you don't have to cook it. It's super reasonably priced. It kind of goes in anything. I don't always do canned tuna. That's the one that's like, or actually sardines or anchovies are like the grossest one, and those are what I like the most. I think I like them better than tuna. And Cecily, I know you have like an awesome recipe for like canned tuna pasta, pirate pasta, isn't it? So yeah, there's like so many ways that you can use canned fish and save yourself time, money, effort, all of that. Anyways, okay. Back on task. I get on my rants and get really distracted. So you stick to your list, you get your groceries home. It's so good, that pirate pasta. I haven't made it yet, but I'm definitely going to. Okay. I don't know if I have said this already, biggest mistake. But probably the first biggest mistake that people make with their meal prep is they might take these first couple of steps. So they might make a grocery list, pick out some recipes, go to the store, do their shopping. They're super diligent about it and know how to save themselves money when they get there. And then they get all of the food home and then they leave. They go, I don't know, shopping or something. So the biggest problem is that you get all this momentum going, you get to the store, you buy all the food, you take it home, and then you just stop. You stop all of it. Guess what? Tomorrow, or Monday, when you spend 8 hours at work and you get home at 5 and you're tired and you're super hungry, and you open the fridge and you have all the ingredients for this delicious recipe that you wanted to make, but none of it's made. Pizza sounds pretty good right about now, doesn't it? So this is when we, again, end up throwing away our money, because it's like you put in all this effort, but if you don't like take it that last step, it counts for nothing. So do not put yourself in the situation where you put in work, money, time, and then you don't finish strong. I like that. Don't finish strong. So finish strong. Get your groceries home, and now make all of the food that you just purchased. So I suggest like scheduling this out. Being organization is like the overall theme of this Facebook Live. Be organized. A little bit will go so far. So scheduling your day so that you have, you know, an hour to grocery shop and then 2 hours after to cook the food. And if I can cook 100 meals in 8 hours, you can certainly cook 8 meals in 2 hours. Like, believe me, I want to see you guys. How long does it take you to cook 2 meals? Like, I want to know on my Facebook page. That would be super interesting. But anyways, so get your food home. Schedule this out in advance. Give yourself 3 hours to do this whole. Well, if you're doing the whole thing, like recipes and all of that, maybe it's like 4. But grocery shopping and cooking, give yourself like 3 hours to do that. So an hour at the grocery store. My phone keeps getting lower on battery. An hour at the grocery store, and then 2 hours to cook all your food. So you get the food home, and you just get right to work. Just get going. Because the minute you set it down and like want to go take a Netflix break, that's when you don't end up cooking and your food doesn't get made. So cook your food. I pick recipes that are as easy as possible. Hi, Jess! I just saw you logged on. Oh, I'm happy to see you. Okay, so I like to do like 1-pot meals or tray meals, which is also 1 pot, it's just 1 tray. Cheers, Jess. Okay, so 1 pot might be like a super stew, but it can also be like a rice dish or a chicken and veggie dish. It doesn't necessarily have to be liquid based, but those are super easy because generally they have like 2 or 3 steps, depending. So you might have a little bit of prep, you might have a little bit of saute, cheers, and then you just basically put the lid on it and let it cook until it's finished. And I love that. That's my jam. So, yeah, a 1-pot soup stew or like a chicken dish or rice dish, something like that, where you just like put it all in 1 pot and you just put the lid on and let it cook until it's done. And that's where the other pot comes in, which is crock pot. That probably didn't sound very good. Crock pot. They are awesome. They're God's gift to us. So get your crock pots out. If you don't have one, you gotta go get one. They're not even expensive. But literally you can put all your stuff in it before you go to work and plug it in, and by the time you get home from work, you have a meal done. Getting off track again. Okay, so the 1-sheet meals are you put all of your veggies down and then you put your protein on top, so chicken, pork is fine also. You just season all of it at the same time and then shove it in the oven. And when the chicken's done, the whole thing's done. You're just done. And you have 1 dish. You can make so many meals with that. Like I'll put like 6 pieces of chicken on like a tray full of veggies, and that's 6 meals. Oh my God, it's so easy. You can switch that up too by like, maybe you just season it with salt and pepper and you make like a little mini dressing to go over it so that changes the flavor of it and you don't get bored with that. You bought a crock pot, Jessica. What are you gonna make in it? I hardly ever see you cook. Your pesto pasta, do you remember that? You get those pesto packets all the time. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, the tray bake, that's my jam. Exactly. Yeah, crock pot pesto pasta. That'll be delicious. Those noodles won't be soggy at all. Okay, so yeah, picking those easy like few step recipes, that's gonna again save you so much time, because now that you're done with your grocery shopping, you don't need to spend a whole lot of time in the kitchen cooking. You really don't. It can be like pretty simple and make plenty of food. The other thing I like to do is double batch. So it takes me no extra effort to double a recipe. None at all, except maybe if I have to chop extra stuff. But making a double batch of like soup or a double like tray bake batch, that takes me no extra effort, and I can freeze the extras and have them for the week when I don't have time to cook, or the week when I like get home from out of town in the middle of the night and I know I won't have time to cook for the coming week. So that's, oh my gosh, that is such like a lifesaver. And making that a regular practice, like regularly making extra of your food and freezing it, can save you in the long run. Like maybe you only have to meal prep every other week, you know? So that's an awesome trick, freezing your extras. But now that, okay, so we're moving on. Now that we're done cooking our food's all ready, portion it out, put it in your containers. I always call them Tupperware, but you know, your to-go containers, your individual to-go containers. Don't throw like your pot of soup in one container and put it in the fridge, because now you're just adding another step for yourself. So you get home from work, you're super hungry, and now you have to portion out some stuff from this large Tupperware container and heat it up. I don't know what it is about that one little tiny step, but it's like a mind trick. That one step is the difference between us like eating what we bought and made for ourselves and ordering a pizza. So portioning it out individually, you've got your portion, you can pop it in the microwave, pop it in the oven, you can grab it and take it to work with you. There's like no extra work involved. So you cook all your food, you portion it all out. If you have more than you're going to be able to eat for that week, throw it in the freezer. It's just extra, less cooking the next time around, which I love. So again, choosing recipes that are like really simple and only have a couple steps to them is so helpful. Going for your crock pot is awesome. And something that's just kind of simply seasoned. So you just kind of, you know, maybe toss it in a little canola oil, salt, pepper, some herbs or something, bake it, and then you can maybe add a sauce at the end to like make it more flavorful. Or if you like did the same thing last week, you know, that's a good way to change it up. But I have so many tips on if you're the type of person who can't eat the same thing every day. Meal prep can really seem like impossible for you, because what you hear about is like you make a big batch of soup and then you eat the same soup all week. If you don't like eating the same thing day after day, that gets really old. So there are many ways around that, and I can go over that in another Facebook Live. That would be its whole own Facebook Live. It's like how to do this whole process, but so that you don't have to eat the same thing every day. That's definitely going to be another Facebook Live. That's a really good one. I have so many clients who are like, I don't want to eat the same thing every day. Like, you need to like make sure I get, you know, my different meals all the time. And then I have like a couple clients who are like, I literally just eat the same thing every day. Natasha, if you're watching, you're the best client. You're like, just literally, I'll just eat the same thing every day for the rest of my life. Oh, it makes it so easy on me. Another thing that you can do to save time is pre-chopped vegetables. So you can a lot of times get like pre-chopped onions, pre-chopped garlic. Of course you're eating Chinese takeout. I feel like you're made of Chinese takeout. If we like put your cells under a microscope, it would be like a little wonton with a fortune coming out of it. Like, I am Chinese. I'm Chinese takeout. Jess, I don't know if there's any help for you. You never cook. You just love Chinese takeout. So I don't know. Okay, what was I talking about? Pre-chopped veggies can help you save time. So, Pre-chopped onions is the one I tend to go for because onions, oh my God, they burn. I don't know if I'm extra sensitive. It seems that my mom is like unfazed by chopping onions, but what about you guys out there? I don't know if like chopping onions like really bothers you. I will just start crying and I can't stop and it's so sad. So I definitely buy pre-chopped onions. You can buy like mirepoix, which is pre-chopped onion, carrot and celery. That's great for like a soup or something. But if you go to the grocery store and you go to the freezer section, you can usually find whatever vegetable you're looking for in a chopped form. Of course, it's going to have a different texture than it does fresh, and that's okay sometimes. But yeah, that's going to save you time, but you're going to spend a lot more money. Yeah, me too, Seth. Tears all day. So it depends. Like, what is more valuable to you, saving time or saving money? For me, at this point, it's time. When you're cooking like 100 plus meals a week, you definitely need to save time. So yeah, the pre-chopped onions are awesome, and anything else you can usually find in the freezer section. And if you're trying to save money, where you're doing your grocery shopping is also really key. So Schnucks, Dierbergs, if you're in St. Louis, those are awesome grocery stores. They have a really great selection, but price-wise, you're not going to be getting the best bang for your buck. You can find everything there, including like toilet paper and shampoo, but you're spending a lot more. Even though their prices are pretty good, you're spending a lot more. So the best deal that you're going to get for groceries is Aldi. There's a lot in St. Louis now. They're popping up everywhere. So Aldi is an awesome option. The issue with Aldi is their produce, like, you don't ever know what's going to be there. So you might have this nice little list that you spent the time to put together, and you get to the store and they only have like half of what you want. Aldi also doesn't have, like, they don't have just regular things. Everything is like in and out. It's constantly changing. So if you go there and you like find a sauce that you really like, it might not be there next week and it might not ever be there again. So that is one thing to take into consideration. You're going to get the best prices there, but they might be out of things. They might just permanently be out of something. So yeah, that's an issue. The next best is Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is where I do all the shopping for my clients. They are so awesome. They really do focus on like seasonal produce, which is why their stuff is cheaper, because they're not making an effort to ship in like really expensive out of season produce. So yeah, Trader Joe's is awesome. They also have like really fun snacks and all of this kind of stuff, like fun things that I don't ever buy to cook for my clients, but like fun things. You can just go in there and like have so much fun. They have so much variety there, and they're so cost effective. Also, the employees are like super nice. So yeah, Trader Joe's is awesome. And then after that, if there's like something else I need, I'll go to like Schnucks or Dierbergs. But really, like Aldi's and Trader Joe's are your best bets for money saving. And yeah, that's all I brought today. And that was a lot. So I'm totally gonna do like another Facebook Live on this topic, because there's so many things there. I had to cut this. I'll do an hour-long presentation just on this topic and still not get everything. So I cut this down to like 30 minutes-ish, which I think I went over. And I still didn't, I didn't get half of it. So we're definitely gonna come back to this topic. And also, if you have other questions, like let me know. I need topics. I've got a short list, but some of them aren't long enough for a whole Facebook Live. So, thank you, Debbie. You're welcome. I hope that you can put some of them into use. I don't know. All right, well, cheers to you all. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Love you. Jess, I miss you. All right, I will see you guys next time.